So this is more of an update. First off, let me apologize. Like, I took a really long time. I took a really long break from this channel. And I initially created this channel to document what it's like being a comedian, because I was brand new at it when I started this channel a few years ago. I'd only been doing comedy for a year, which if you've been doing comedy for a year, you really haven't been doing comedy. And so first off, like, apologies for that, because a lot of stuff has happened over the last few years, and I feel like I just have to update everyone. So this video might be a little longer, I don't know, but like, I've heard so many people say, like, you have to be in this business for at least 3 years, 5 years, and I've been doing this for 5 years this month. Officially doing comedy for 5 years. Of course, there were pandemic years, so there was no going out to comedy clubs, so I was doing comedy virtually, which, I mean, you can see all that shit on YouTube. But I've been pushing and pushing and pushing over the last few years. Like, my TikTok was blowing up back in like 2018, 2019. And then I was like, you know, I want to do stand-up. I want to focus on stand-up. So I stepped away from TikTok, which in retrospect, maybe I shouldn't have. I should have used TikTok to put all my comedy on. Algorithm forgets you real quick. Okay? You stop lingering on any social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. If you stop, then the algorithm just forgets you exist, and then you come back and you start posting some content and no one gives a shit. The algorithm definitely doesn't give a shit. But I don't care about that anymore. Like, as I'm getting older, like, I want to do stand-up. Like, here's the thing. Like, I finally found something I absolutely love doing. I love doing stand-up. Like, this is my little man cave. I do all my writing down here. I write solo. I write with some friends. I invite them over. But, like, it's actually something I enjoy doing. Spend free time writing jokes. I'll be in the grocery store. A joke pops up. I have to stop whatever it is I'm doing and get on my phone and put it in my phone so I don't forget it. And, of course, I'll forget jokes because I'll think of something in the shower, or I'll be running and I'll think of something and I, like, don't have anything to write the joke on, and then I'll get home 20 minutes later, or I'll get out of the shower 10 minutes later. I'm like, what was the joke? That happens a lot of times. Like, every week that happens to me, and it pisses me off. For the life of me, you just can't remember what the thought was several minutes previous. Anyways, yeah, I mean, this is more of an update. I mean, I got so much shit going on. I got a lot of shows happening. I've done a lot of shows. I spent countless hours in open mics. I've done shows in and out of LA. I've been all over California, Vegas, Texas. I got shows coming up in Wichita, Kansas. Thank you, Dan Green, one of my buddies. But there's a lot going on. So, I mean, consider this now like a daily vlog. Might not be able to post every day, and sometimes these might be 10 minutes, sometimes these might be 2 hours. I don't know. Maybe I'll do some, maybe if I can go live. I don't even know if I can go live on YouTube. I don't know. Well, maybe. I think I can. But again, if you watch this trailer, maybe you've seen my new trailer for this channel. Maybe you haven't. I don't care. Like, if you haven't seen it, I'll just say it. Like, there's no special edits here. This is me. This is me raw. Chris Kidder raw. Excuse my swearing. Fuck you if you don't like swearing. Move on. I don't give a shit. I have a bad mouth. Like, my comedy is pretty clean. Like, if you come out and watch my stand-up, I try to write clean witty, savvy, intellectual jokes, funny stuff, without having to get all gross and talk about my dick or about, there's some sex stuff I talk about, but I try to use innuendos and try to not. I don't ever want to be like a comic who's going to try to shock and awe you and get all graphic. Quite honestly, I don't find that funny. If you find it funny, then go listen to those comics. I don't find it that funny, quite honestly. Talking about sex and about your dick or your genitalia, like, that's the low-hanging fruit. Every comic starts there, and you have to evolve past it. And if you don't, you know what? That's on you. No judgment. Do your thing, but you're not gonna go do Madison Square Gardens with dick jokes. You're just not. Actually, right now, one of my jokes I'm doing, like, it's it's a dick joke. It's about a fear of dying with my actual dick in my mouth. It's really stupid. But I don't get all graphic. There's nothing graphic about the joke. The joke is around the fear, which is a very unreasonable fear of dying with my dick in my mouth. We all have fears of dying, like fears of dying, fears of different ways of dying. Like, I don't want to die in a car accident. Like, no. And I definitely don't want to die in an airplane crash. I think a lot of them are crashes. So I wrote a joke about that, this unreasonable fear that I'm going to die with my dick in my mouth, however that is. So that's about as dick joke as you can get from me right now, anyways. And it's a fun joke. I get to do some crowd work with that joke. I have a few other jokes where I get some crowd work. I had a set last week at the Ha Ha Comedy Club over here in North Hollywood. It's fantastic. Like, we filled up the room, packed it out. I think I had around 25 guests. It was a show with Stoner Rob. Stoner Rob is a headlining comic, goes all over the country, and he called me up and booked me for the show. Had a great time, got a lot of guests to come out, and I did that joke, and it was so much fun. Like, I love doing that joke with a crowd that comes and that wants to laugh and wants to have a good time. But again, I did that joke last night. So I had a small show in downtown Los Angeles at this place called like Casey's Irish Pub, which is like a bar show. I'm not a fan of bar shows, but I go do them because it's stage time. It's practice. And one thing as a comedian is you need as much stage time as possible. Like, it doesn't matter. Got one person in the audience or 1,000 people in the audience. Like, you have to get up and just practice. Practice speaking the joke. That's a big part of it. And yeah, did that joke last week at a comedy club with probably over 200 people in the room. Was amazing. Did the show last night. I think we had like 2 guests there to watch the show, and then like 15 comics. And if you do comedy in front of a room full of comics, most comics are jaded. They're not there to listen to you. Some of them are nervous about getting up. Some of them are running their jokes in their head, so they're not even listening to you. So if I can get some comics to go, then I know that joke will do well in a big room. So that's how I gauge my jokes at like open mics. But last night was a fun show, but it was more like an open mic. I did 7 minutes. Last week's Stoner Rob show, I did 10 minutes. 2 weeks ago, I did 30 minutes with my guy Dante. Dante is a headlining comic who's been doing this since I think he's been doing comedy since 1982. The guy's freaking hilarious and had me come down and do 30 minutes, do a feature spot for him. And that was great. Like, I love doing this. Like, I'm honestly on a trajectory of growth, which is awesome. But there's a lot of things that I'm not doing so hot in. Last year, over the pandemic, I had 2 writing partners, and we wrote 10-episode series called The Kidder. And we put our heart and souls in this thing. And I'm not gonna give away like what the show is about, because I mean it's called Kidder, it has me in it, right? But it isn't just about me. It's about comedians, and I don't want to get all into it, but we shot that last October, and we didn't have a big budget, you know. But I think I spent over $3,000 of my money, and one of my partners spent about that with his money, and we don't have an editor, so I'm doing the editing. And quite honestly, I'm staring at my face all day, and I can't fucking stand it. Like, I don't know how. Like, okay, if you're an editor and you're watching someone else and you're cutting the shit together, like, awesome. But like, if you have to stare at yourself for hours, absolutely hate it, dude. It's not that I don't like me. I love me. I love me. But to stare at yourself and to critique yourself, right? And then when you're shooting something, there's all these edits, there's all these cuts, and there's all these takes. So when you were shooting it on the day, you might have done like 3 takes of a scene, or you might have had 13 takes of a scene. And then when you edit, you have to watch all 13 takes. And if those takes were 7 minutes each, you've got to watch 13 times 7. So what is that? Or is it 91 minutes? You got to watch 91 minutes to figure out which of the 13 you want to use. And then out of that one that you use, you start chopping it up. And then you start second guessing yourself. You're like, ugh. Because you're looking at yourself and you're like, well, I don't like the angle. I don't like my wrinkles on my face. It's so freaking annoying, dude. So freaking annoying. So I've been very unmotivated is what I'm fucking saying. Like, very unmotivated. And then I have my buddy off to the side over here, my boy Miguel, going, man, if we just get it done and we can show it to people, we might get it sold. And that could be our gateway into being headlining comics at the Laugh Factory, the Improv, or Levity. And he ain't fucking wrong. But you stare at yourself all fucking day. Ah! It's so unmotivating. So fucking unmotivating, dude. But like, one of the problems getting into the comedy clubs. So Rita's the booker at the Improv. They had this meeting this last year, and they opened up the doors. 300 comics piled into the main room at the Improv. And her and someone else sat on the front stage and did this whole Q&A. And we found out Rita only books 14 to 17 spots a week. 14 to 17 spots a week. Okay, real quick, 14 to 17 spots. A comedy show on average has 8 comedians in it, okay? The Improv has 4 shows a night. They got 2 rooms. They do 2 shows a night in each room. Even if they took a night off, let's call it 6 nights a week, 4 shows. What is that? 24 shows for, why am I spacing out? Yes, so let's say 24 shows a week. 24 shows times 8. What is that? That's 192? Was that 100? So you got 192 comics a week. And she only books 14 to 17. And then comedians are piling in every Tuesday and Wednesday night, vying for her. Is that the right use of that word? I don't know. Like they're all fighting for her attention to try to get past, as they called it, right? So these are audition mics every Tuesday and Wednesday. They have these audition mics. Sometimes she's not even there. So I get in my truck, which eats gas at 17 miles per gallon. I got to put premium in it because it's a nice new truck. No brag. But, so like $5. So I'm spending like all this money to go over the fucking mountain to get to the Improv, which I'm glad to do and I'm happy to do because I want to be a part of the freaking comedy club so bad. I love the Improv. I love the comics there. I love the ambience. I love you, Julie. At the bar, I get treated well when I do shows there, but the shows I'm doing there are produced shows. There's a difference. A producer books the room, fills, like they book with the comedy club, and they say, hey, we're gonna fill this room with our guests. We get a piece of the ticket sales at the door. The comedy club's happy to do it because they don't have to over promote or pay for promoting the club. The room gets filled up. Those people have to buy 2 drinks or 2 item minimum. Plus, they're buying tickets to get in the room. If you're a producer and let's say you're getting 50% of the door, the club gets the other 50% of the door, but the club didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to market the show. They didn't have advertising or anything. So they're relying on producers to fill up the room. That's how I've gotten shows at the Improv. And I'm happy to do them. Absolutely love doing those shows. I mean, it's stage time at the fucking Improv. I've had my name on the marquee at the Improv, and I love that. But I want to be there regularly. There's people like Adam Ray, Elijah Schlesinger, you have Nikki Glazer. You have all these big comics who get to go and perform there every week, multiple shows. I want to be in those lineups. I want to be a paid regular. But then to find out Rita, okay, back to Rita, the booker, she only books 14 to 17 spots a week. So I do a little homework. Levity owns the club. Levity, like, you have to be a part of Levity, which in essence is like a talent agency. They own comedy clubs. They own chains of comedy clubs. I think they have a contract with like Princess Cruises or something like that. I don't know if it's Princess, but I believe it's Princess, but they have a contract with a cruise line. So all their comedians, their talent rotates through the cruise ships. So how do you get seen by Levity? I think the only way is if I get Kidder done and sell Kidder, or I get another TV show done, or I have 200,000, 300,000 followers on TikTok. Like people have blown up on social media. You got Matt Rife blew up on social media. I mean, I know that kid, like, and I say kid because he's younger than me, but I love that dude. I've done 3 shows with him, and he's super humble and cool to work with. He responds back to my shit on IG. If I text him, he fucking hits me back up. He's a cool dude, down to earth dude, and he's blown up. And he's been doing comedy since he was like 13, maybe 15. Since he was a kid. I wish I would have got into this shit when I was young, man. Because I love it. It is such a rush. I love it so much. But someone like him or Zhao Ying Summers, she's fantastic too. But huge, push on social media and has done all her Uber Karen, where she sits there and does all these TikTok videos, YouTube shorts and stuff, where she's, she plays, a Karen Uber driver. And she talks back to her. And it's fantastic. But now, like, Zhao Ying just had a huge show at the Apollo, I think, last week. And Matt Rife has, 18 months sold out tour, across the world. But using social media, dude, that's the kind of shit that gets seen. I think you have to, if you want to be a regular at some of these comedy clubs, you have to find a different avenue. It isn't just getting passed by Rita on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night. As much as I want to do that, I don't have the time to get down there every Tuesday. And then when I get down there, she might not even be there. And even if she's there, I have to put my name in a bucket with 200 other comics and hope to God my name gets pulled. And then every week there's freaking nepotism. They'll have a different host, and the host must call their buddies because all of a sudden, like I know who that host is, and the same people get up every time that host goes up. They magically pull that name out of the bucket. And I'm not saying I've never been a part of that. Like, I've had my name magically pulled out of buckets at the Laugh Factory. And I know it's nepotism. I know it is. Someone's like, hey, man, I'll make sure you get up. Hey, man, hey, kidder, what's up? I'll make sure you get up. So they're pulling out Steve's name, but they're going, oh, hey, next, coming to the stage, Chris Kidder. like we're all subject to it. It's part of the game, and you have to play it. And like I said, I'm happy to do it. This is not a complaint. I'm just saying these are fucking hurdles that make this process so much longer than you want it to be. I know I've been doing this for 5 years, and I have probably just shy of an hour of material. And that's probably because if I took everything I wrote, I probably have an hour and a half. But it's garbage. It's shit. It's when I first started, I was doing dick jokes. I was doing jokes about how I lost my virginity to a Pamela Anderson poster. Fun joke, but that's not going to get me on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. So I have to be smarter, have to be funnier. I'm trying to use that USC business degree. Try to use that shit to my best ability so I can network with people. I had a show last Wednesday. It was the day before Thanksgiving where I produced it. So a buddy of mine, a fellow USC Trojan, shout out MD3. MD3 is a very influential person at USC. Met him through USC alumni stuff over the years ago. Became good friends, and he built a bar in his backyard. And he was like, "Hey man, come over." I went over there. We had a good time with some other buddies, and he was like, "What do you think? You think we could do a comedy show here?" And I go, "Absolutely." So he organized it with his guests. I booked the comics, and we had a nice private show with some fantastic people, mostly USC alumni, fight on. And it was a paid gig, dude. I was able to pay my comics. I want to do more of that. Like, I want to be able to do private shows, corporate shows. Corporate comedy is where the money is. You know, and I don't want to lie to anybody. Like, dude, like I'm doing this because I love it, but I want to make money. I want to exploit it, make money at it. It'd be lying if I said I didn't. Oh, I'm going to continue being a grip in the film business, do lighting on film shows, and continue to fuck up my back. Like, oh, here's another update. Like, I've spent the last several months on disability, and I finally got an epidural shot, cortisone shot in my spine, which, God, is the most painful thing I've ever felt in my life. That fucking hurts so bad. I feel better now, thankfully. And I got released to go back to work, light duty, of course. But, like, I've been doing it for 18 years, and honestly, like, it pays well, but it is deteriorating my body. My back found out I have degenerative disc disease, so my back is falling apart. Probably because of all the heavy shit I lift every day. Film sets, we work like 14 to 16 hours a day. I lift stands that are anywhere between 40 and 100 pounds all day. And I love all my friendships and connections I've made over the years, but fuck, dude, I don't want to do that shit anymore. Like, my exit strategy is to hold a microphone and talk for an hour and make $1,000, make $5,000, make $15,000. I don't care. But, like, I need to make, like, my bills every month is about $3,000. I need to make $3,000 a month. How can I do that in comedy? I'm working on it, and I'm trying to figure this shit out. What time is it? I gotta go get my kids here in a minute. That's another thing too. Like, so the writer strike happened, the actor strike happened, and put me out of work. Which, a month into being laid off, all of a sudden my back went to shit. Probably because it wasn't moving. Like, it wasn't moving. All of a sudden, my back went to shit. But I was out of work. And I'm still out of work. The strike ended like 2 weeks ago. And like 2 days later, the show I was on last year called The Rookie Feds got canceled. And that sucks, dude. It was Niecy Nash and Felix Solis. They were fantastic. It was fun to work with. They were fun to work with. It was fun to work with. They were fun to work with. And the show was fun. The crew, all my boys there, dude, it was fun. And we had great ratings on the show, but for some reason it got canceled. And we think it's Nisi. Nisi didn't want to work anymore, probably, on it. I don't know. She seemed so unhappy there the last couple of months on the show. Right before COVID, not right before COVID, right before the strike. She didn't seem very happy to be there, so whatever. It's just our paychecks. It's just our livelihood. So thank you to whoever decided to cancel it. That is me complaining. Fuck you, whoever canceled it. But yeah, so now I have to find work, and I have to figure out how to make more money doing stand-up. I'm finally starting to make money in stand-up. It might be $50 a show. It might make $100 a show. It might make $300 a show. I'm starting to make money. But I need to make 3 G's, minimum 3 G's. So how do I make 3 G's? I'm thinking corporate comedy, starting to reach out to all my contacts, going down LinkedIn. How do you book corporate shows? Now I know there's companies out there that have their corporate comedians and you go down their catalog. There's got to be a way to directly reach out to companies and say, hey, here is our EPK, electronic press kit. Like here's our EPK. Here are my comedians. We can come in and do 90 minutes. We can come in and do an hour, 90 minutes, 2-hour show. Relatively clean, not risque. You don't want to be doing shit that's political or religious heavy, because the company doesn't want to make their employees feel uncomfortable. Like they're just there to laugh. And if you start doing gay jokes or start doing religious jokes or start, bashing Donald Trump or bashing Joe Biden, you're gonna lose that paycheck real fucking quick. And I think the goal is not only to go in once and kill it and make 2 G's, 5 G's, 10 G's at a time, but to get recommended to other companies from this company and to be invited back. Maybe not the following year because they want some variety, but if I kill it this year, maybe they'll call me up in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Be like, hey Chris, we had you back here in 2023. We'd love to have you back. We've been dying to have you back. You killed it then. Would you like to come back and do another show? Hell yeah, I want to come back and do another show. And by the way, it's 5 years later, so here's my new rate. You guys paid me $2,000 5 years ago. My new rate is $8,000. Open for negotiating. But there's a lot to talk about, and I need to do this every day. And again, like if you're watching this, awesome. If not, I get it. It's not for everyone, but this is the real comedy. I say this is a comic's journey. This is a big part of it, dude. Mentally going through all this stupid shit. The good stuff, the bad stuff. There's a lot, man. So I'm going to start. I just ordered a car mount, my old car mount, when I was doing TikToks and stuff a few years ago. Like that doesn't work anymore. So I got a new one. Start taking you guys with me on the road. I can't just record inside comedy clubs. I'll do what I can, but that's not what this is about. I mean, this channel is going to be just raw, the life of a comedian. Will I make it big? I want to. I really do. God, I want to so bad. But then I have my own demons. I got to lose this weight. I don't want to be John Candy, Belushi, some of these comics, Ralphie May, they get all big and fat, they get famous, all of a sudden their career starts taking off. I mean, John Candy was already huge, but physically and as a celebrity, but Chris Farley, these comedians, get all this fame, they start taking, or Ralphie May, his career was starting to explode, and then they croak, dude, because I just don't want to be that, and I'm too old. I'm not too old, I'm 44, that's not too old, but Some of you, I mean, if you're watching this and you're like 25, you're like, man, he said his age. He's 44. What an old fucker. What an old piece of shit. Fuck you. But, like, you know, like, just, I need to lose weight. Sex sells. Learn that in marketing. That's like marketing 101. Sex sells. Like, if you look good, it's easier to get your people to watch. Because in your I mean, look at Matt Rife, dude. God, is he eye candy. I'm not gay, but that dude's chiseled from God, man. I mean, he's just gorgeous looking dude, man. Good for him. Comedy career taking off. Funny dude. He's gonna have movies and TV. Like, I mean, they're probably already talking about movie deals and TV deals with that guy. Huge fan base, mostly women, but huge fan. But it doesn't matter. And then you got like Zhao Ying Summer. She's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It's harder to be the fat comedian and make it big. There's some. There really is. There's some. But then they don't last that long. My thing is, just people don't want to look at them. No offense. And I'm not eye candy at all. I don't think I'm ugly. You might disagree. I don't give a shit. You know. It is subjective. People's opinions. It's all subjective. But look, I don't think I'm bad to look at. But I have a dad bod. You know, as some people would say, the dad bod is trendy, Chris. The dad bod is trendy, yes. But did you have to lean in on it? No. I got a big gut. I got to lose like 30 pounds, so that's part of all of this, you know. I got to figure out the weight thing. Oh, fuck. It's so much work. That is exhausting just thinking about it, like how to lose weight. And my back's wrecked, so I can't like just go pump weights. But yeah, that's a big part of it, man. You look good, you feel good. So maybe I'll take you guys running with me. I don't know. Maybe some hiking. I don't know. But I got to do more of this. I'm going to try to post every day. But this is a comedian. This is a real comedian. All we see is like Steve Martin. You know, look at Robin Williams, a perfect example. Everyone saw Robin Williams, adored Robin Williams, loved Robin Williams. But if he did this, you would see how dark that motherfucker was, dude. Dark, dark demons. He took his life. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Why? Comedians are some of the darkest, most jaded, mentally ill, fucked up people. Being in this business for 5 years, I've met so many fucked up people. I've literally sat in a comedy place looking at the door, making sure no one walks in and hoses it down. Hosing it down. I didn't say anything bad. So don't take any of my shit down. But I'm just saying, like, they get scary. Like, some of these comics are so freaking dark, and some of the shit they say, some of the evil that spews out of their mouth, even when they get on stage. Like, I talk about happy shit. I talk about fun stuff. I talk about my wife and my kids. They are my rocks. They are my support system. They're my why I'm doing this. And why I continue to push. Do I want the fame and glory? Of course I do. Why? Because of them. I want to be able to take that and share that with my family, with my children. If it comes with $500,000, great. If it comes with 5 million, even better. But it isn't just about the money. Like, again, like, do I want to make money doing this? Yes, I do. Can you make a lot of money? 100%. But it's not about like, I have to make $5 million. It's about making enough money so that I don't have to do the other shit. This is my exit plan. Comedy is my retirement. I'm going to do comedy till I'm 70. I don't know if I'll live that long. But like I said, I can stand or sit and hold a microphone and make people laugh. That's very realistic. Will I make money along the way? Of course, I've already made money. But the goal is to get more and more time, get booked more and more frequently, and to grow. And I've done a bad job at sharing all of this with my audience. And I have an audience. It's not huge. It's small. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But do I want to grow it? 100%. So if you're already here watching this, I love you. But let's grow. Let's grow. Let's grow.